Hi guys, welcome to another Divi Theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. We got a great one for you today. We're going to show you how to overlap images using a bit of margin and padding. And we're also going to show you how to keep them this way on tablet and mobile. If I hit my F12 key, I'm using Google Chrome with the inspector tools. Here we have it on a tablet. As you can see, they're keeping their two columns there. And if you want to do it on a mobile too, it'll keep them on a mobile. And if you want to adjust them to be normal on any of these, we'll show you how to do that too. Really easy to do, so let's get started. Let me get rid of that. Let's enable the Visual Builder. I'm going to go down, I'm going to delete the row these are in, and we'll start from scratch. So I've got an empty section here. I'm going to hit the green button to add a new row. I'm going to put two columns in my row. I'm going to use a simple image module, and this of course will work for any module you want. Just happen to be using images for this today. Let's add an image. Yes, we'll use similar images. Great. I'm going to have mine open in a light box. Now when you hover over your images, it's going to come up with the title. I know mine's got that crazy alphanumeric number. That's because this is an AI image generated by Night Cafe. If you want to get rid of that or change it to something else, you can do that over in advance down in attributes. You can either type something pertinent or just delete it if you don't want it at all. That way, when they hover over it, you won't see that crazy number. Great. Well, I'm just going to duplicate this now by hovering over it, dark tab for a module. Two little squares will duplicate, and it'll put all those same settings in it. So we won't have that crazy number and it'll pop out into a light box. But of course, I want to change that image. So I'm going to go in there, click on the existing image. Let's pop a different one in. Fantastic. Well, let's save that for a moment. Now I want to get these to overlap like you saw before. To make things a little easier, I'm going to go back into my row, the green tab. I'm going to take away the guttering here. The guttering is a space between and below elements. To do that, we can go over to Design, Sizing, use Custom Gutter Width. If we pull it all the way down to the left to 1, they'll be actually touching each other. That way, when we position them, we've got less far to move them. Well, let's go back into our first one now. We're going to move it over the top of the one on the right there. Well, actually, it's going to slide it underneath because of the z-index value, and I'll show you how to change that in a moment. So let's go into it. Going to go over to Design and Spacing. Now we're going to use margin for this. With margin, you can give it negative values, which will move it up, down, left, right, however you want to. So on the right-hand side, I'm going to give it a negative margin of, say, 10%. I'm using percentages so it'll work the same on all devices here. In the right hand side, we'll put negative 10 and the percent sign. As you can see, it sort of pulled that side over, but this side stayed where it was. And we want it to keep the same aspect ratio and be the same size. So to counter that, I'm going to put positive 10% on the left hand side. And like I say, it's hard to see because it slid it under that one there. Now, if you wanted to have this one on top of the other one, we could adjust its z-index. Let's just save it. We'll go back into the row. We'll go into our first column there. If we go over to the advanced and down to position, we roll down a bit, you'll find z-index. We can roll it up and you'll see it pops on top of the other one. I'm happy for it to be the way it was, so I'm going to X out of there. It'll go back to how it was. Fantastic. Well, let's position this one now. I want to drop it down a little bit. And also, I want to pull it left by about 10%. So I'm sure you figured out how to do that already. We're going to go into this module. Going to go to Design, Spacing. This time, I'm going to put a negative value on the left. But before I do that, let's just drop it down by perhaps 15%. To do that, I'm going to use a bit of padding on the top. We're going to use 15 and a percent sign once more. As you can see, that's popped down. And you can adjust this more or less if you want it. Let's do our actual margin now. This time I'm going to put a negative value, negative 10% on the left, and positive 10% on the right. So it's the same size. Again, just 10 and a percent sign. Perfect. Now we're going to have a little bit of a problem there. If we look at it on tablet and mobile, let's just hover over the margin here, hit the little icon, and this is common to all Divi modules, little phone icon there. We can have completely different values on tablet and mobile. Well, watch what happens when I hit tablet. We roll up to where it was. Because we've done that negative margin, they're kind of skew-if, and they're no longer overlapping. Now you can change it if you want to and just take that padding away. Just put a 0 in there, and a 0 in there. That will take that back to how it was in the middle. You could do the same for the other one. But I don't want to do that. I want them to be overlapping on all devices. So let's put it back to how it was, which was -10. And regular 10. Let's go back to our desktop version here. I'm going to save that. Let's go into the row now, the green tab. I'm going to write a little bit of CSS code. Hey, don't panic, it's really simple. I'll put it down below the video for anybody that wants to copy and paste. We go over to our advanced, to custom CSS now. Over in the module elements, hit that tab, roll down to the main element. I'm going to write 2 words, display, colon, and the word flex, F-L-E-X. We'll put a semicolon there in case we want to write some more code. Now, if we save that, if we look at it on tablet, hit the little purple button. Let's go to tablet mode. Roll back up to where they are. You'll see they're still overlapped nicely. In other words, the columns haven't broken. They're displaying flex the way we wanted them on this device. And also on mobile, we roll back up. They're doing the same. Now, you might decide on mobile that it's a little too small. I mean, that kind of works for me, but that's entirely up to you. If you wanted to put them back how they were originally on mobile, really easy to do. Go back to desktop. We'll go back into our row again. We'll go over to advanced, where we were before in the custom CSS. Module elements is where we wrote that display flex. Let's just copy that. Control-C to copy. Again, I'm going to hit the little mobile phone icon. If you don't see it, just roll over the dark writing. It'll appear. Let's go into our phone mode. Roll back up so we can see. I'm going to paste my code back in there. Control-V to paste. It's already grandfathered in, but I'm going to change that flex to block. B-L-O-C-K. As you can see, they've gone back to how they were, but we need to unoffset the padding and margins on those. You know how to do that. We go back into each one. Design, spacing. Remember, we need to work in mobile mode. Hit the little mobile phone icon. Hit the mobile. Just come with a 0 in there. I'm going to hit the chain so it does the opposite side. That's fine. Roll up. That one's now in the middle. And we'll do similar for this one on the right. Over to design, spacing. And we've got to work on the padding as well this time. So again, we're going to roll up over. We've got our little mobile styles up here. Going to click on the mobile. Going to put a 0 in there. Going to hit the chain so it's the same on the right. And that's back centered. Probably going to leave that padding in there because if we actually take that away, they'll be touching as we adjusted the gutters on that row. So if I hit delete, they're actually touching. I really don't want that. Control-Z to undo. That's going to work. Let's just save this. So we've got this on desktop. Well, let's save our page, make sure it's all going to work on the front end. Save draft. And exit the Visual Builder. Here we are on desktop. They're nicely overlapping. And remember, you can change the Z index on the column if you want them to overlap the other way. There's no crazy number or title, just a hand indicating something can happen. We can pop it out into a light box. Same with this one right here. Let's have a look on tablet and mobile now. I'm going to hit my F12 key. Here it is on mobile, iPhone 12. As you can see, they're stacked normally. And again, of course, you can tap on them, pop them out into a little light box. Now let's have a look on an iPad Air, and they should be overlapped again on the iPad Air. Fantastic. Just make that a bit bigger so you can see. And again, you can pop them out into the lightbox. And that's a really nice little feature. Like I say, it'll work with any module. It doesn't have to be images. You can have call to actions or blurbs stacked or whatever you want. And you can do more than 2 columns. You can have 3 or 4, whatever you need. It'll work the same way for you. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you, or make another little demo video like this one. So once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.